Acing the Interview, Elevating Your Opportunity. This is part of our eBit series. By eBit series, we mean that this is tidbits of information of e-learning. A whole e-learning course, such as an e-webinar, might be 60 to 90 minutes long, and our e-workshops are 1 day to multiple days of learning that are available for you as well. But a eBit series is 10 to 15 minutes of a 20,000-foot level overview on whatever the subject matter is that allows you to learn, take notes, and decide which direction you need to take. So thank you for attending. So let's step back and look at it from a different perspective. If you want to ace the interview, if you want to really wow them and impress them, think of it from a perspective of if you got hired on what you should be told if you're a new hire. And I'll explain it this way. Here's what I always explain to my new hires. First of all, we hired you because we have high expectations and we believe that you meet those high expectations. Let me tell you a little bit about our organization. We're excited, we're growing, and we want you to grow with us. But let me tell you what we're looking for and what you can do to ensure that you grow. One, take self-accountability for yourself. Take self-accountability for your personal and professional development. And you do that by defining the skills and knowledge that you need to grow that benefits our organization. So let me explain that. First of all, always understand our mission, our vision, and our values. Our mission is our reason for existence, why we exist, our purpose for our clients and for our employees. Our vision is internal, but it has our big, hairy, audacious goal on where we want to get to. So if you can understand how you can affect that, it can make an impact. Then if you live our values, understand our principles, and you expand on that with the customers, with every employee, you can make an impact there. Next thing is our strategic initiatives. We'll have about 2 to 3 a year, strategic initiatives that we think will help give us the strategic advantage and keep us growing. If you understand and embrace those, and then define what skills and knowledge you need to learn that will help those grow, and you take self-accountability and development, you'll be recognized. So if you're speaking to your superiors and say, what is it that I need to learn? What skills can I learn on my own? Are there books you recommend, things I do, people here that maybe can teach me that I can take some of my own time? How can I keep growing with this company? Don't look to change things, learn to embrace things, and then how you can affect the initiatives, the mission, everything that helps your company grow. When you take responsibility for your own development, and then when I'm looking at promoting somebody, you help make that choice easy. When I'm looking to invest in somebody for more development, you make that choice easy for it to be you. So when I tell this to a new hire, think of that about going in when you're going to interview. Because if you take that same perspective that, hey, I'm going to get hired, but let me try to get this point across through the interview, that if they hire me, this is who I am, it makes an impact. So let's move forward. Now that we spoke about perspective, take that perspective and then think about what you do, because it's really important that you understand that you're in competition for acing that interview and up against others. How competitive are you? If you played sports, the main thing in sports is that you prepare, you practice, and you have a game plan. And then you go in expecting to execute that game plan. The best thing about a game plan is not everything goes according to the game plan, but you know what the plan is and how to get back on the plan so you can have success. That's why that's important. You must believe that you're in a competition, and you have to understand that you're being measured. You're being measured how you answer. You're being measured against their current employees. You're being measured against what they think is a fit for the role that you're applying for. And you're also being measured against other candidates. You're being evaluated against all the things that we just spoke there as well. But do you match their culture as well? You're being evaluated, when I talk about their culture, that's their mission, vision, and their values. You may not know their vision because that's usually internal, but you should at least know their mission statement, That's the reason for existence, and their values, which are usually on their website, but you can ask people, what are the values of your organization? Those type of things. Mentally, you have to understand that many times when organizations place a job, they've already made a choice. They say, we want to give it to Bob, but we know that we have to post it for legal reasons. Well, even with that perspective, that just means that you have to be really prepared, that you make them say, wow, if we brought on this person, they will impact our organization. So that's why you start with the end in mind. What is the end in mind on any interview? Well, the end in mind is showcasing your talents, showing you're professional, but most of all, showing you're coachable. That is very important. Hey, I'm coachable, and if you coach me, I'll correct my behavior if I'm doing something wrong, but I really want to learn and I really want to grow. But I will showcase your organization and help you drive your strategic initiatives to success. Stop, look, and listen means that even though you go in prepared with some things you want to say, you need to stop and be ready to what comes your way. You need to look around and be aware. And then you need to listen to what you're being asked and understand it clearly. Many times when you're asked a question, ask them and clarify what the question is. And in fact, a good tactic is to rephrase it. If your interviewer is Mr. Thompson, I believe you're asking me this. Am I correct? Great. Here's my answer. You want to create the wow factor. I once, had sent someone for an interview with an executive team, and the person went in and interviewed. I knew that they were a strong candidate, but they did have a game plan. They even had a book of things that they did and accomplished. And I got a call back from my executive who said, wow, wow. And that's the wow factor. You want people to be wowed by you. So if you're in competition, then we have to talk about preparation. You want to hold up that trophy to say, I won. The best competitors prepare, and they want a crushing victory. I don't want to just get over the goal line. I want a victory where I crushed it, where we were up by many points. How do we do that? Well, we do that because we have to demonstrate our knowledge of the organization's mission, vision, and values. I mentioned this in the prior slide. The mission is the reason for existence. So before the interview, I would look for it on their website. I would, they usually have print materials. If it's not anywhere you could locate, call the organization's receptionist, because most people, they don't hide their mission. Hey, what's the mission statement of your organization? Vision many times is internal, but if you have someone that that works there, maybe they're referring you, you can find out their vision statement. Now, values are usually things like trust, respect. Well, you want to find out what values that they live by. Those are usually on the website, or they might call them principle statements, which are the values in action. And then, have an understanding of their industry. What industry are they in? Do you have some knowledge of who might be their competitors? And then what is the company history? How long have they been in business? What successes have they had in the past? Did they merge? Did they take over other organizations? If you know their key initiatives, past and present, you can usually find out their past. They'll have articles about the organization on their website about accomplishments, what's made them grow, what products or services that they've come out with in the last few years. Those were driven from their strategic initiatives. You can ask about what are their present initiatives moving forward. In fact, on a response in a question, you could say, yeah, I can see that you rolled out these products in the last few years. I'm sure those came from your strategic initiatives, and that's great that you execute them. May I ask, what are some of your strategic initiatives going into this year? It's a great question. It shows that you have interest. And it actually shows, too, well, I like the way this person thinks. I always like to look at community involvement. I know that many companies, you can pull up articles, but also on their website, they might show what they do in their community. Have they done things for Habitat for Humanity? What have they done in their industry? And if you know a little bit about that and you can quote it in an interview, it brings an awesome perspective. Next, you want to demonstrate self-accountability. You could do this in a couple ways. One, when you speak to what you did with prior employees, talk about, well, I did some self-development here that then led into a promotion where the company invested in me as well. But I constantly work on reading and maybe watching videos and some e-learning that help me develop more. What's important to me is, as I know the direction the company wants to go, and they have strategic initiatives as well as the mission and the values, I'd like to know always what knowledge and skills I can develop further that helps the organization and helps me in my role. When I hear that from an employee, once again, it's like I like them, they're coachable. And then finally, you want to demonstrate that you're a solid investment because when you hire someone, they're an investment in time, energy, and money. Role play. One thing I always speak about is role play. Prepare, have someone interview you and role play it. And a lot of times there's many standard questions. That's great. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Those type of things. But role play some of the things we just spoke of on the prior slide. If mission statement, you can do that in several ways. You can say, the last organization, our mission statement was XYZ, and I was able to do this, which really worked great with the mission statement with my customers, and that's what took me to the next level. I see that your mission statement is ZYX. Can I ask you, what are some of the things that you encourage your employees to do that enhances your mission statement? It's a great question. Also, just demonstrate that you know what their mission statement. I really like your mission statement of this, and I liked how you exhibited that when you worked in the community. I saw the new products and programs that you rolled out last year, and I think that really matches your mission statement. So these are just good things that you can do when you role play. So you see, an interview is a lot about how you answer a question, but then how you ask and how you respond. One of the big role plays I like to do is the question of, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I take personal responsibility for my development. Certainly when the company wants to invest in me, that's great. But hopefully you'll see that I demonstrate self-accountability on personal and professional development. I would always like to know, and you'll see me ask my superiors, what can I learn in self-development that would help the organization? I'm not here to change things. Certainly when I'm asked my opinions, I will give my opinions respectfully, but I'm here to help you excel at what you're doing, your initiatives, your mission, and I do that through self-development. The more knowledge, the more skills that I can learn, the better for me, but it's the better for the organization as well. And I do that, Mr. Interviewer, because let me be quite honest here. When you have a promotion, I want to show you that I'm the right choice. When you have dollars to invest in somebody on more development, I want to show you that I'm the right choice. One of the things that I'd like to demonstrate too is that I'm very coachable. Certainly, I know that there may be times I might be executing something not totally correct. I'm coachable that please correct me and help me so I can get back on the plan and always demonstrate what's right. Those are just great role plays or ways to prepare. Always just demonstrate that you're ready. And this is why focus is so important. Why is focus so important? Because you want to showcase your natural skills. We say here, practice verbal. You want to demonstrate that you're articulate, but with that you have the proper pace and the tone. Certainly we all get nervous. That's understandable, but you could still demonstrate your pace and your tone and your pauses, because your pauses lead into your listening skills. You want to give the opportunity for the interviewer to ask the next question or to ask the question during your answer, just say, well, can you expand more, and have that ability. But listening skills is very important because it's the number one weakness of human nature. We're always trying to think about what we're going to say next, that we're really not listening. So you need the ability to listen to the person like you're going to rephrase it back to them. And if you're doing that, you can't think about what you're going to say next. And in fact, it actually is very professional If one or two times, if you don't clearly understand, rephrase the question back to the interviewer. Say, great, I believe you're asking me this. Am I correct? And when they say yes, then you answer. When you have the ability to listen well, then you'll learn the ability to ask good questions. So be prepared with some questions going in, as we mentioned in the prior slides, things about their mission or about their values or community involvement. But you need the ability to ask one or two good questions based upon what you've been asked. So you can ask those open-ended and always ask on how it benefited the organization. Think of key phrases to utilize. You always hear about left brain and right brain. It's really left brain, which is emotion, and frontal cortex, which is logic and reason. If you can open your conversations or any question that you have that opens it with a key phrase that keeps the individual in logic and reason, it works better in an interview. Next, practice on storytelling. I'm not saying go in there and take up the whole conversation, but on the one or two questions where you're asked to explain why you're telling me you're successful, tell them a story about a prior thing that happened with your past employer. Oh, well, that's real easy. With the past employer, we had this opportunity here with this client, and here's what we did. And story tell not only how you made it happen, but how it moved that organization forward, how you benefited that company. Because in their mind, you want them to think, this person's going to benefit me. We have the last thing on here about handcuffed to the chair. I was told a story once by my superior when I sent somebody to him to interview, and he said, this person I wanted to handcuff to the chair. I did not want to let them get out of this room without us hiring them. And you want to kind of go in with that attitude. I want to be so good that I want them to want to make me that offer right now, handcuff me to the chair, and not let me go interview for another job. That's the type of impression you want to make. So you received a brief understanding of how to ace that interview. There's naturally so much more, but if you work on this brief understanding, you'll do very well. Now, we do have our webinars that are 60 to 90 minutes long, and we have our all-day classes, and we have our one-on-one coaching that can assist you as well. So please don't be shy in sending us an email or looking at our website for the other trainings that we have. But also remember that success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction and knowing that you did your best to become the best you are capable of becoming. And that's from John Wooden. We want to thank you for attending. If you'd like to email, our email is mark@markvillarreal.com. If you have questions about additional courses, you can send that to contact@markvillarreal.com. My website is markvillarreal.com. My phone number is listed there. And please subscribe to our YouTube, which this will be posted. But as we create new tidbits or other e-learnings or educational videos, you will be notified as well. So please, thank you very much and have a good day.